call. Your host for today is Tom Brown. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you, operator. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today for this media conference call that will feature three-division world champion Leo Santa Cruz, an exciting contender Miguel Flores, and WBA super bantamweight champion Brandon Figueroa, as they discuss their upcoming Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view showdowns taking place Saturday, November 23rd from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Leo and Miguel will go toe-to-toe for the WBA super featherweight title in the co-main event, as Leo looks to win a world title in a fourth weight class, while Flores looks to pull the upset in his first title opportunity. Brandon Figueroa will make the first defense of his 122-pound title against the tough former world champion Julio Ceja as part of the pay-per-view that begins 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. This event is, of course, headlined by the highly anticipated rematch between boxing's longest reigning heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder, as he defends his title against the hard-hitting Cuban slugger, Luis Ortiz. Tickets for this event, which is promoted by Bomb Squad Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions, are on sale now and can be purchased at the mgmgrand.com and access.com. I also want to just say thank you to Leonard Ellerby and the Mayweather Promotions team. Leonard's been out running around the country promoting this event. So thank you, Leonard. All right. Now to start off the call today, we have one of boxing's brightest young stars joining us, and Brandon Figueroa. He's the WBA super bantamweight champion, having recently been elevated from the interim champion. His record is 20-0, 15 KOs. He fights out of Waylusco, Texas. Brandon, can you give us some opening comments about how training camp's going?
Yes. Training camp has been going really good. I've been suffering a couple of injuries. But other than that, as a fighter, you got to keep moving forward. I don't want to, pull out of the fight. I just got to make it work around the injuries. And as of right now, I'm still continuing working hard. And I can't wait. I can't wait for November 23rd. It's going to be a big opportunity for me, not only for me, but for my team and to represent my city. Being 22 and having a world title and, being the youngest champion, I guess, of 122. And, everyone else in the rankings are, 28, 29, 30. So, it's a privilege to be young and, to hold a title. So I'm definitely working hard towards the fight.
Operator, let's open up for questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. All right, our first question will come from Carlos Toro with Fightful. Carlos, your line is open.
Hi, Brendan. Hope you're doing pretty well.
Yes, I am.
First off, obviously this year has been, incredibly, successful for you. You started off the year as a top prospect at 122, then you go on to win the interim title, and now you're elevated as the WBA champion. Have you really had any time at all throughout this entire process, throughout this year, to sort of look back and sort of kind of be amazed at what has been able to be accomplished in such a relatively short manner of time?
Yes, of course. Actually for the last fight against Thurman and Pacquiao, I went to go watch it, which my brother, that's the day he fought as well. And I was sitting there in ringside, and I was like, man, I can just imagine the day when I'm gonna fight here. I can't wait. And I thought it was gonna be maybe till next year, along the line, maybe like a couple more fights. But wow, it was just 2 more fights done, and here I am fighting under the pay-per-view. Not only that, but fighting a great fighter like Julio Ceja. It was a blessing. And yeah, of course, me climbing up the ranks and being elevated to the champion was amazing. I definitely do work hard. I'm grateful for everything that All Human does, that PBC and everyone that makes PBC work, is amazing. And I'm just blessed, and I'm happy that I get to be in this card and that I get to fight. That's the most important thing that a boxer loves to do, is fight and showcase his skills and, prove everyone that they deserve to be in the ring. So definitely, blessings have been coming my way, and I'm just grateful.
You're facing Julio Ceja, and I think that his last time out against Guillermo Rigondeaux, I think a lot of people thought Ceja was winning that fight up until the TKO came in. But do you kind of look at this? You look at that fight as sort of, maybe you look at Rigondeaux's performance and see that could be a blueprint on how to beat Julio Ceja, or are you just really kind of following your own game plan and seeing how that fares against Julio?
You got to take everything into consideration. How Rigondeaux fought him, Julio Ceja's style. Everything comes into play, and obviously, I always got to have a plan. And obviously, I know Julio Ceja is gonna come and brawl. Either I can box him or I can, fight him on the inside or brawl back. I'm an excellent fighter. I can fight, lefty, righty. I can switch it up. So, it's gonna be interesting. But I know I have more skills. I have the power, definitely, and, watching his fight against Rigondeaux, he has stamina, so definitely something I got to work the body, something that I'm used to doing, and that right chin, he's been dropped plenty of times with that left hook, so definitely I got to, make sure I get to land those left hooks, and, I know this isn't going to be an easy fight, but I'm definitely, working really hard to, make it easy and make fight night easy, and, even though it's not going to be easy, but, you always got to believe in yourself and plan it as it is going to be easy. But, I'm definitely working hard for the 12 rounds. I know I've been on a 7 knockout streak, and, I don't plan on knocking him out. I'm just going to go in there and make sure that my plan goes well, my fighting plan, and, come out with a W.
Thanks, Brandon, and best of luck on November 23rd.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question comes from Jake Donovan of BoxingScene.com. Jake, your line is now open.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Brandon, thank you. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. I just wanted to ask, now that you're at this title level, do you want to still maintain this rate of activity that you've been able to enjoy this year? Because not a lot of guys in your position are able to, fight this often in a year and, with a title around their waist.
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, it's consistency is, the love I have for the sport, that, as soon as I fight, a week or 2 weeks later, I'm back at the gym or I'm always running, always keeping in shape, make sure my condition doesn't get too far. It's just, it's a lifestyle, at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle. And, I don't go up too much on weight. I'm always making sure that I'm always, stay maybe 15 pounds on top of my weight class. And, I'm always working, so I think the difference is that I'm always trying to be healthy. I'm always keeping healthy, making sure I'm not doing dangerous stuff outside of boxing and stuff like that where I can injure myself. I'm always safe, and so I can keep being active in my career.
Okay. I don't know how to ask this without throwing your brother under the bus, but I mean, how much do you learn from everything that he's done, in his career? He had a successful lightweight run, then things just kind of fell apart. But how much do you take from his journey and just bettering your own game?
No, of course. I always take my brother's mistakes into consideration. I always, he's always told me brother, you gotta learn from my mistakes. Whatever I did wrong, don't commit them again. Stuff like that. And I know his last loss was big. Not only I know it affected him, but also me. Seeing my brother lose like that, and at the end of the day, we're talking to each other. I was like, hey, you lost, you got your ass beat, but hey, you got to bounce back. You got to get back to work. Stop making excuses for yourself. That's just how we are. He's really hard on me, so I'm gonna be hard on him. And I know he's gonna bounce back. Right now, he's taking care of personal things, remodeling his house and stuff like that. But I tell him, brother, I'm always gonna be here for you. Whenever you need a running partner or stuff like that, I always want to be there every step of the way, just how he wants to be every step of the way in my career. So definitely, I learned a lot of things. He's my mentor, and he's probably one of my biggest role models in my career and in my life. So I definitely look up to him, and I can't wait for him to come back and do big things again.
Okay, with that in mind, how big was it for you to be able to it was like right after his loss, you had your own homecoming, just being able to carry on the family name?
I don't really see it like that. It's just
okay.
it was just a little bump on the road, and I just it's my career. I can't really pay too much into his career or get distracted or get the pressure on me. I never see it like that. I'm the type to I'm always focused. I always got to do what I got to do. Everything outside of my career or my life, I push it to the side, and I got to do what I got to do. And that homecoming fight, I take care of business, and I never really cared about the loss or whatever. I know it's just it's part of the boxing game, and it's just the way of life. So I just pushed to the side. I did what I got to do, and I take care of business the homecoming night.
Okay, and then just one final question: how soon after that fight did you know that you were going to land on this card, or a card like this, I should say?
It was when I was actually at my sister's wedding in Cancun. That's when my dad told me that I had another fight lined up, and as soon as I heard the news, I was running over there in Cancun. I was trying to eat healthy. I was already working out. As soon as I heard the news, I couldn't comfortably enjoy the vacation. I couldn't comfortably, enjoy being over there. So I had to get back to work as soon as I heard the news. And that's just, like I said, it's a lifestyle. And as soon as I heard I was going to fight, I was pumped up and ready to go.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much, Brandon, and best of luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question comes from John Cudney of Reddit Boxing. John, your line is now open.
Oh, hi, Brandon. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
So the question is, do you have a 1-year plan, 2-year plan, 3-year plan? You've been on a very fast pace this year, as Carlos was asking about. Do you have goals now that you'll be fighting for the full title to eventually unify with the other champions, and also want to hear your thoughts for potential fights down the road with other names in your stable like Guillermo Rigondeaux and Stephen Fulton?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, I always take all the champions into consideration into my career, especially after, this fight. If everything goes well, I come out the W. I'm more than excited to fight, the best fighters in my division. And, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to Al Haymon and my team. We never say no to any fights. That's why Al Haymon, he makes a lot of things possible for us, because he knows that, we never say no. We always take the fight no matter what. And, I'm excited. I'm excited to, for the future, if I got to fight Rigondeaux or Fulton, or unify against Emmanuel Navarrete or Vargas, champions like them. So, at the end of the day, it's just, I don't really like to think about the future. I just take a fight at a time, and whatever's planned for me, I'm ready. And, like I told Al Haymon, my father, my team, that I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight these champions, and I'm ready to, really input my name into the boxing world and really showcase what I'm about.
So I apologize, since you said you don't like to talk about the future, but I do want to ask you in a little more detail about two names. So your opponent, Ceja, fought Rigondeaux in his last fight. It was a knockout in the 8th round. Are you taking as a goal to potentially try to stop him as well, potentially even stop him faster? Do you bring that thought process into the training and into the game plan, or is it just about, winning however it appears?
No, I think it's just a matter of me implementing my style into the fight. I think once I get comfortable, once I, study him, and once I see his little mistakes, I feel like, I'm really going to put the pressure on him. I know he's going to come forward at all times. So definitely we're working on a lot of things, and I feel like once, when he fought Rigondeaux was throwing like 20 punches per round. I'm the type of fighter that's going to be on you all night. I'm going to be attacking the body, the head, throwing over 100 punches. So definitely I trust in myself a lot. I believe in myself so much. I have so much confidence, and I feel like my style, works for any kind of fight. I can box, I can brawl, I can, brawl beautifully on the inside. I can box on the outside. I can switch lefty righty. So, I have a lot of skill set that can adapt to any fight style. So I'm excited for that, and like I said, I can't wait for fight night because it's going to be my first time fighting in Vegas, and not only that, but on the MGM Grand.
All right, our final question this round comes from Jeremy Harridges of Fansided.com. Jeremy, your line is now open.
Hey, Brandon. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. You talked about having some injuries during training camp, and obviously there's a difference between fighting injured and fighting hurt. Injuries are something that every fighter sustains. Kind of what's your threshold for pain, and how do you know the difference between the two? How do you know when something's going to be too much in the ring, and how do you gauge that?
Definitely. I just gotta see when I'm in training. If I can push through it. I've pushed through many injuries in my amateur career. I pushed through many injuries. Over my past fights, and I've fought with a messed up shoulder. I've trained with a messed up foot, messed up shoulder. Mostly it was my right shoulder, but thank God I got to get the pain away and it doesn't bother me anymore. But little minor injuries that happen here and there that kind of slow down the training, that I can't spar, or I can't hit the bag, or I can't run because sometimes my Achilles hurts, stuff like that. But I feel like, I just gotta, keep praying to God to give me health and make sure that I'm healthy for my training session, so that I can be really, really well prepared when fight night comes. So I don't know. It's just a matter of me pushing through it, and once I see that the injury doesn't go away, once I see that the pain is too much, then we're gonna have to, I don't know, either I fight through it or we pull out. But I've never pulled out of a fight due to an injury, so I know I can pull through this, and hopefully, God willing, I'll be okay for fight night.
As far as when you're talking about some of those struggles and how sparring can be impacted, is that something that's happened with this fight where you've had to alter your training schedule?
Yes, sir, of course. This is nothing new. I've trained without sparring for some of my fights. I trained without running sometimes because of my foot. And on fight night, everything works out. I know that sometimes I'm not really well prepared because of the injuries, but at the end of the day, I go out there and fight. I fight my heart out, and I get the W. I know some people may say it's kind of stupid to fight like that, or it's kind of risky, but I feel like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it's a challenge in my career, and I know at the end of the day it's gonna make me stronger. If I can fight with basically one arm or one shoulder, or then more power to me. But I really am taking this fight into consideration. I'm not underestimating Huluseca at all. But I know, this ain't the first time that I've been training injured, and I just gotta push through it mentally, and I gotta be strong-minded, and I can't let the injuries get the best of me.
Final question. You're a young guy. You're 22 years old, and obviously you're going to have more time to mature physically. Is it your main goal to clean out the junior featherweight division, and do you have a time span for when you'd like to jump up to featherweight, and has that been a thought running through your mind at all?
Yes, of course. Me and my team talk about it. All him believes in me so much. As of right now, I know that my body's maturing. Every fight I'm getting stronger. I feel faster. Definitely the power is coming in as my body matures. Weight now, I'm gaining more muscle mass. I feel my body different. I feel it stronger. I feel it more. I feel it. I just feel good. I just feel good when I spar. I just feel stronger in general. And I know that down the line that 122 is going to be harder to make, and I got to move up. But as of right now, I think I can stay at 122 for a couple more fights.
Thank you, Brandon, and best of luck.
All right.
Thank you,
Brandon. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in Vegas.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Now we have on the call the 27-year-old super featherweight contender, Miguel Flores. Miguel's got a record of 24-2 with 12 knockouts. Originally born in Mexico, He grew up and fights out of Houston, Texas. His quest for a world title has always been a two-man journey. He lost his older brother Benji to a ring death only a few months before making his professional debut. So not only does he fight to pursue his own dreams, but he also fights to continue his brother's legacy. We know he was originally scheduled to fight Santa Cruz back in February before an ankle injury forced him to withdraw from the bout. He returned to the ring with a knockout win in June and is now ready to challenge for his first world title. Miguel, would you please make some opening comments about training and how you feel right now?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you for having me on. And training's been great. I guess when you're at this level, there are no easy days. There are no easy fights. So training's been great. We've been grinding. We know we have a tough task in front of us in Rio Santa Cruz. But I think it's all about timing, and I think it's my time now. I'm definitely going to do my best to take advantage of the opportunity. Like I said before, I know people think I don't deserve this fight, but I know what I deserve. I know I've been grinding hard since I was a kid at the gym, and after we give up a great fight, you know, people are going to appreciate for this fight.
Okay, operator, let's open up for questions, please.
As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, please press star one on your telephone keypad. If you have any questions, please press star one on your telephone keypad. All right, our first question will come from Kenneth Buhari with Premier Boxing Champions. Ken, your line is now open.
Thank you so much. Hey, Miguel, your late brother Benjamin was a boxer, and you promised him that you would become a world champion. Do you feel that this fight is destiny, fighting for a world title now?
It definitely is. I mean, it's about 10 years after his passing, and, you know, the opportunity is finally here. It's crazy because my brother once took a picture with the WBA title. At the time, the fighter that had it was Chris John, and he borrowed his belt and took a picture with it. 10 years later, you know, I have the opportunity to fight for that belt and you know, become world champion. So, like I said, it's destiny. Obviously, this last fight, I mean, when we were scheduled to fight this last time, unfortunately, I had that injury, but it's destiny. I mean, some things are just meant to happen, and I know Leo's a great fighter, but we're going to put up a great fight, you know, two Mexicans, and it's nothing but respect for him outside the ring, but once we get in the ring, you know, I'm definitely going to try to knock him out.
Now, did the time off from the injury help in any way? Were you able to study Leo a little more?
Obviously, I did. I've always said that that's the beauty of boxing. Every day you go to the gym, every day that passes by, you're adding knowledge, you're getting better, you're working on new things. So obviously, I mean, I saw his fight with Rafael Rivera. It was a great fight, toe-to-toe. And obviously there's things that I saw there that I can do. I want to say I'm definitely more prepared than I was the first time. You know, I can implement my game plan a little more. Obviously, there's things he does great, but I think I can offset those things and use them to my advantage.
Miguel, thank you so much. All the best to you on November 23rd.
Thank you, sir.
All right, our next question comes from Carlos Toro with Fightful News. And as a reminder, if you have any questions, please press star one on your telephone keypad. Carlos, your line is now open.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Miguel, for taking time to talk to us. You know, obviously, last time you had the chance to fight Leo Santa Cruz. Unfortunately, you had the injury, but that was for the featherweight title, and now this one's going to be for the super featherweight title. You feel like maybe this time fighting at 130 is, you know, you're at a much more comfortable weight than you would have fighting at featherweight?
Yes, obviously. I mean, a lot of people ask me, you know, why just fight at 130? Well, I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's calling the shots right now. He wants it at 130. There's no reason why I wouldn't go up to 130 to fight him. That just means I have 4 extra pounds. That just means I can eat steaks all the way to the weigh-in. So it's just going to be a little more comfortable. I mean, making weight is never easy. That's one thing people got to realize. But having those extra pounds of cushion, it's gonna give me I think an advantage. And also, I mean, given the fact we can't get away from him starting off at 118, 122, 126. Obviously 130, that's 4 divisions. Some fighters, they don't adapt, their power doesn't carry with them. So, like I said, it's all about timing, and I think all those little things, the up in weight, him not being too active, and just him being over 30, they're all going to play to my advantage.
Obviously, Santa Cruz had his fight against Rafael Rivera earlier this year, and you haven't fought. You fought in June. Did that kind of fight, did that comeback fight from injury, did that kind of help maybe shake off the cobwebs a little bit and make you get a little bit more confidence in getting this fight against Santa Cruz?
Yes, obviously it did. I want to say that I wanted to treat that fight I remember right when I was going to walk out for that fight, I told myself, if I want that fight again, I got to treat this fight like if it was a big fight at a big stage. And I did just that. I shook off some ring rust. I had a veteran opponent that could take a punch, but I ultimately got the 6th-round knockout. And I mean, like I said, it's just experience. There's little things I worked in there that, of course, I want to implement in this fight, and I did them. So I'm more confident now. And obviously, that's getting a knockout is always a little confident booster. So I'm feeling great. And even though a lot of people say we're moving up in weight, I mean, that fight was at 128. So I mean, this being at 130 it's not going to be no new thing to me.
Thanks, Miguel, and best of luck on November 23rd.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And it looks like our next question is going to come from Jake Donovan of BoxingScene.com. Jake, your line is now open.
Thank you very much. Hey, Miguel, I just wanted to ask if there's anything that's been different about this training camp as the last training camp that you had preparing for Leo Santa Cruz.
Obviously, we try to pick up the intensity more every camp, but we're not doing anything crazy. We've been training at the high level of this for years. I've been training. It's not like I'm a lazy guy and, okay, I got to get up for this fight. No, all my fights, I always train how I'm supposed to. So I'm not doing anything crazy like go and run 25 miles every day because, I've always trained hard my entire life. Like I said, we do pick up the intensity. We do want to stay a little bit more focused because it's a bigger opportunity. But I mean, everything remains the same. Hard work and dedication is what we're putting in the gym.
Okay. Also want to test. I know that you don't look past any opponent. I like to believe that Leo doesn't look past any opponent. But his main intention in moving up in weight was he wants to fight with Gervonta Davis. So does it feel that much more satisfying that you have the opportunity to disrupt those plans as opposed to having just having the opportunity to fight for a featherweight title when the fight was first scheduled?
Yeah, trust me, every time I hear that planning on a Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz pay-per-view fight for next year or Leo Santa Cruz trying to fight Gary Russell and stuff, I love hearing stuff like that. I'm like, yes, I want him thinking about stuff like that. I hope he's thinking about stuff like that because guess what? I wake up in the morning, I only got one person to think of. I thank God for a day. I look at my kids, give them a kiss, and then right away I got to think about Leo Santa Cruz, and that's the only fighter I'm thinking of. So, I mean, for me, if he's thinking about other fights, it's great for me. Like I said before, I know he's a professional, so I hope he's not looking past me. I know he's doing his job. He has a great team with his dad and his brothers, so I know they're doing their job. But, I mean, if they're looking past me, I mean, they're going to be in for a tough night.
Got it. Okay, and then just one final question. I wanted to kind of rewind back to February. When you got injured, I know you had to talk with with your team, and they were talking about your future. Like, what kind of assurances were in place that an opportunity like this was going to come along, whether, again, rescheduling with Leo or just another title opportunity in general?
No, well, I mean, I've always said I have a great team, Louis the Cuba Jr., PBC, Al Heyman. I feel right at home with them because even after the injury, my manager called me. He told me, hey, recover, don't rush anything, get well from that foot. And he's like, more opportunities will come. I fought in June. Obviously, I knew like I have to win this fight because if I lose, everything goes downhill. So I'm like winning this fight, and right away I got a call, and they're like, hey, this fight may be out there. Keep it to yourself. Stay quiet. Just keep training, and we're gonna do our best to get you this fight. So right away I already knew like, okay, if there's talks about it, then it can possibly still happen. So you could say I've had about a year training camp for Leo Santa Cruz because he's been, ever since that first fight was announced, he's always been in my mind, and I've always been, thinking and dreaming of that fight, of that ring walk against him.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Miguel, and best of luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right, we have another question coming from Kenneth Buhari of Premier Boxing Champions. And again, as a reminder, please press star 1 on your telephone keypads if you have any questions. Ken, your line is now open.
Thank you. Hey, Miguel, I had one more question for you. Back in 2017, you had two controversial or two setbacks, I would say, one against Chris Avalos, the other against Datton Win. And I wanted to know what you learned from those two fights. Obviously, the Win fight was a loss, and the Avalos fight, a lot of people thought you were winning when that cut occurred. What did you learn from those two fights, and how has that prepared you for this moment today?
Obviously, sometimes there's a saying that you gain more from a loss than if you're always winning. And I think with that Win fight, I've always said it, I never have any excuse. He beat me fair and square. There's obviously things I'd rather not talk about that I know I won't ever do again if that happens, in a match or at a weigh-in or something like that. I know there's things that I won't do and I won't accept. But at the end of the day, I took the fight and he beat me. I mean, do I think he's a better fighter than me overall? No, I don't think so. He was a better fighter that night, but I learned just to stay focused throughout the fight and never underestimate anyone. Not that I underestimated him, but just I got to stay focused throughout the whole 10, 12 rounds that I'm fighting. Obviously, with the Chris Avalos fight, I don't even take that as a loss. A lot of people, that are boxing fans or that really follow the sport know what happened in that fight. I felt like I was dominating the fight. I had dropped Avalos. Obviously, the type of grueling fight that it was, we unfortunately, had 3 cuts on us, and, the ref made a bad call. I mean, that was his call. I can't do anything about it, but I took that loss more like, hey, I guess, you just got to live to fight another day. I felt like right when Avalos got the fight with Leo, I was like, man, that's my fight. That's my opportunity. So like I said, I mean, I've been thinking about Leo Santa Cruz for years now, and finally this moment is here, and I'm planning to take full advantage of it.
Thanks so much, Miguel.
All right, thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
All right, now on the line we have one of boxing's most accomplished and exciting stars today, the 3-division world champion Leo Santa Cruz. Originally born in Mexico, now representing Los Angeles, Leo's racked up a record of 36-1-1 with 19 KOs on his way to winning titles at 118 pounds, 122, and 126. Now he looks to become a 4-division world champion on November 23rd and steal the show with his fan-friendly style in the co-main event on pay-per-view. Leo, can you please make some opening comments and tell him how you're preparing for the Flores fight?
Yeah, hello to everyone. My training has been going great. I just, finished sparring right now, 10 rounds. I feel great. I feel strong. And, I'm training for this fight, like I train for all my fights, really hard. I'm focused because, Miguel Flores is a tough fighter. And I'm going to come with everything because this is opportunity for a world title. And, it's going to be a tough fight. I know people are saying it's going to be an easy fight that why am I fighting him? But, every fighter is strong. Miguel Flores is a strong fighter, and I know it's going to be a great fight. And, God has the destiny, and, whatever he wants, that's how we're going to go with.
Thanks, operator. Let's open up for questions, please.
Yeah, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. All right, our first question will come from John Cudney of Reddit Boxing. John, your line is now open.
Oh, hi, Leo. Thanks for your time today. Question is about your move up to. Hi, Leo. Yeah, the question is about your move up to 130 and the timing of that. So there had been a lot of talk about you potentially facing Gervonta Davis, but right as you move up to 130, he moves to 135. So just wondering if you can talk about that, if you felt the need to move up because of your body, and if you think Gervonta Davis fight is still on the horizon.
No, I moved up in weight because, I had the opportunity. I had been saying already that, I wanted to unify against, any of the champions, Gary Russell, Josh Warrington, Oscar Valdez. And I said, if those fights can happen, I want to move up in weight and look for another title at 130. And the opportunity came, Davis moved up in weight, and the title was right there, it was vacant. So I was offered to fight for that fight. And, they told me, are you going to fight against Miguel Flores? And I said, yeah, for sure. But, he's a great fighter. Once people see him and, see the fight, they're going to be happy, and they're going to know that he was nobody. He's a fighter that comes and, fight. It's going to be a great fight. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just who wants it more. And, God already knows what's going to happen. He leave it up to him. If Miguel's turn, his opportunity for him, I'll be more than happy, for him to win. But, I'm training really hard, and I want that title more than anything. I want to be a 4th division world champion.
Okay, thanks a lot, Leo. Good luck in a few weeks.
Thank you.
All right, just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question will come from Carlos Toro of Fightful. Carlos, your line is now open.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Leo, for taking time to talk to us. Now, obviously, you're no stranger to moving up in weight, but what's been different about maybe making the move from 126 to 130 as compared to your previous attempt to move up in other weight classes in the past?
So this is when you don't have to work more on my power. I know I've been going up to 118 to 130. I have to work more on my power. I have to, work for power punches, and that's what I'm working on. My strength conditioning is working with me a little more on the power. Also in the sparring, I'm sparring with bigger guys. I've been sparring with guys that are 140. That way when I go out there and I don't feel that guys are strong, I'll feel them the same, and there won't be no surprises.
It's no secret that, you've been wanting to fight not just guys like Gervonta Davis, but also fight for a world title in a 4th weight class. Obviously, that's a fight that's still very attractive, but was the idea of moving up to 130, on the table for this year or even early this year, regardless of what Gervonta Davis was going to get, or would you guys still have managed to just find a way to still fight at 126 pounds, despite maybe not necessarily getting those big fights that you wanted?
No. I wanted, my dream was to be a 4th division world champion. I wanted to win the title for me. To when I retire, I want to be remembered as one of the only fighters that win a 4th title, in 4th division. Not a lot of people do that. So, that was my dream. I want to be remembered as one of the greats. And, I had the opportunity, so I'm going to go for it. And, hopefully, God, everything goes good. People ask me, and I say, I don't know how it's going to happen that day, November 23rd. But if I win, I won the big fights. I won against, Gervonta Davis, Gary Russell. If he moves in weight, I won the big names that people want me to fight.
All right, Leo, thanks so much for talking to us. Best of luck on November 23rd.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, our next question comes from Jake Donovan of BoxingScene.com. Jake, your line is now open.
Great. Thank you very much. Leo, I pretty much asked Miguel the same question, so I did want to ask you, for the training for this fight, is there any difference other than training at a heavier weight, or do you just kind of pick up from where you left off when you were previously training for the fight that was scheduled earlier this year?
Yeah, I've been training the same. I don't think there's going to be no changes, and if we try to change things, sometimes, it don't work, so, we're going to keep it to the same plan. It's going out there, giving a great fight, throwing punches like I always do. The only thing, is working a little more on our power. That's the only thing difference we have been doing, working more on our power. With my strength conditioning coach, Andy Aguilar, we're doing that. And, in the sparring film, I'm sparring with bigger guys than me, so that when we go up there, we won't feel the difference. We just two fighting. I'm fighting sparring partners that fight at 140. So they're going to be a big help. That's the only difference we've been doing.
Very cool. Does it add any dynamics fighting on a Fox pay-per-view? I know the last one it was supposed to be a Fox headliner, like you were the star of the show. Does it is it different now that you're kind of here, supporting Deontay Wilder in this headliner? Like you're not the headliner of the show, but you're still a main attraction.
Yeah, no, it's still, like I say, I don't care where I fight. As long as I fight, that's what I care. I don't care if I'm the main event, the main event. I'm here just to go out there and give the fans a great fight. No matter if I'm main event or co-main event, I'm still gonna go out there and fight the same. So but I'm just I'm excited and happy to be in this undercard with Wilder. He's a great fighter and everything. And I'm happy to go out there and fight against Miguel Flores. He's a great fighter too, and I know he's gonna bring everything. And it's gonna be a great fight. And like I said, at the end of the day, all I hope for say is that we both come out a healthier out of the fight.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much, Leo, and best of luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypads. Our next question will come from Kenneth Buhari of Premier Boxing Champions. Kenneth, your line is now open.
Hey, Leo, there's been a lot of talk regarding, even on this call, actually, there's been a lot of talk regarding you potentially fighting Gervonta Davis or maybe a Gary Russell next. How easy or how difficult has it been to keep your focus on Miguel Flores, who you're heavily favored to beat?
It's a big, pressure on me because I know, I'm favored and everything. I never see myself like that, I never see myself as the favorite because, anything will happen in the fight. Me, I only focus on the fight I'm going to happen, that's going to happen. And every time I'm going to fight, and if they ask me about other opponents, I don't like to say, I do want to fight them and stuff like that because, it's hard. You never know what's going to happen in this fight. And I could say, I won that fight next, but I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. So if I say, I want to fight, and then if I lose this fight, then I say, see, you're taking this fight I do or stuff like that. I say, so, I say, I'm going to get over this fight first. Hopefully, everything goes good. I get the win, and now we can talk about the other fight. But, because Flores is a great fighter, and like I said, it's going to be a great fight. And first, we're going to focus on this fight, and then we'll talk about the other ones.
Now, you just mentioned that Flores is a great fighter. What do you see in him? What are the things about him that impress you or things that you need to prepare for?
He's kind of like, kind of me. He comes forward, throwing a lot of punches. He works the body really good. He's throwing a lot of punches, combinations, and he comes forward like I do. He tries to treat the fans. He tries to entertain the fans like I do. And that's what's going to make a great fight and dangerous because he comes forward and, one of those punches, could land and he could hurt me or something like that. But we're going to be very, cautious. We've been training hard to not let any of those punches get caught or, we could take those punches. But, I just know there's going to be a great fight and that's what we want. We want to treat the fans and we're going to go out there and just do our best.
Now, regarding the preparation for fighting at 130 pounds, you mentioned that it's really no different. But do you feel any different at this weight training, working on your power and so forth?
Yeah, I feel better, a lot better for this camp. For other camps, I was feeling a little bit more tired. I don't know why. But it wasn't because the weight, I never had problems with weight. It's just that, I don't know why. But for this camp, I feel a lot stronger. Even my sparring partner, they say that they told me a lot stronger. That I've been, better than any other camp. And it's because, there's a fourth world title. I've been working, really hard. And I'm not taking Miguel Flores lightly. I know he's a tough opponent and that he could surprise us. So I know that I'm focusing really good and, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right and I'm doing everything how my dad's telling me to do.
Leo, thank you so much. All the best to you on November 23rd.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Leo, any further comments before we see you in a couple of weeks in Vegas?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, see you right there. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's going to be a great night and a great show on November 23rd. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the call. You may now disconnect your line.